Happy New Year!
Happy New
Almost.
Year!
Can you believe it that we're at the end of 2024?
No, I can't. I feel like it just started.
It's funny because January and February feel so long ago. When we were thinking about putting together this, countdown episode, I was like, I don't know what happened in January. That was a lifetime ago.
No, when I was doing my TikTok recaps, I was like, oh yeah, and that happened. And then I was like, let me just check the date. And some of it would be 2023. And I'm like, wait, do I even know what happened this year?
Exactly.
Like,
Oh, 100%.
I don't.
Do you know what? I was going to include on mine Olivia Rodrigo's Guts album as like one of my favorite things because I thought that was a really great album. Turns out, yeah, that was last year. So who knows what happened in 2024.
It was Brat Summer this year.
You're right. It was Brat Summer.
Yeah. Which I almost put on my list, but I was like, there's too many other memorable things. It got knocked off.
Yeah, a lot of good things happened. I'm excited to chat about it. Hello and welcome to your final bonus episode of 2024 of Two Queens, Two Crowns. I'm your host, KJ Miller, founder, lecturer, and content creator.
And I'm Erica Manganelli, pop culture humorist and content creator.
And today, we're coming into a new year. We're, of course, going to end with a countdown of our favorite moments and the messiest moments of 2024, which I feel like, how else could we end? How else could we end the year?
I know, it's so true. And I was going through mine. I was having a hard time because my whole account is messy scandals. Yeah. So like I was like trying to do the most memorable ones, and I'm like, no, wait, that's messy. I got to move that over. Everything's messy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, if anyone is going to be able to count down the mess of 2024, it's definitely Erica, because I get half of my mess updates from you. So
yeah, that's true. I'm like, wait, what good happened? I don't know.
I know some of my things, because I was thinking like, was this a favorite moment for me or a messy moment? Because some of my favorite moments
are the messy ones, right?
Were messy moments. So yeah, I feel like we're going to have some overlap. I haven't seen your list. You haven't seen my list. So I'm excited to get into it right after this. Well, folks, as you know, there is a TikTok ban on the horizon. No one really knows what's going to happen, but just in case it gets banned, Erica and I just wanted to take a quick moment to encourage you to find us and follow us on our other platforms. Erica, where can people find and follow you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, and I'm at Letabino. And you can find me on YouTube, and I'm at Let a Bitch Know on YouTube. I'm pretty much on every other platform, Twitter, Blue Sky, all the things. And my name is the same on everything.
Yeah. And I am posting now on Instagram, which is new for me.
I saw that. Yeah. I was
I'm doing it against my will, but my handle is KJ Miller. And then of course on YouTube, my handle is I am KJ Miller, and I am posting both places very regularly. So I would say no matter what happens with TikTok, I think we're a good time on all the platforms. So I think people should come find us everywhere.
Yes, come watch us.
We'll have a good time with you in any of the platforms in the new year. And with that, let's get back to the show. All right, so let's get into it. I was thinking, let's save the mess for last and start with our favorite moments of 2024. So Erica, why don't you kick us off? Let's go, from... You
want to go 1 to 5, or you want to go one back and forth?
Yeah, let's go 5 to 1.
5 to 1, okay.
So, and we'll go back and forth. So you'll name your number 5, then I'll name my number 5, and then like that. So yeah, why don't you kick us off? What was your number 5 favorite moment of 2024?
My favorite number 5 moment of 2024 is when Sabrina Carpenter would sing Espresso at the concerts, but she would change the end lyrics depending on where she was per location.
Okay. Love that. But I thought that was something she did for Nonsense. Did she do that for Espresso too?
Oh, maybe it was Nonsense. Did I mess it up?
Yeah, that was her Nonsense outro.
Okay. Either way, I love that she changed her outros. And I know she stopped doing it now, so it feels like a very 2024 thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I loved those outros too. They were very cheeky, very sexy, very slutty.
Yeah, very slutty.
And you know what? I also think so smart. And this is the thing that I think a lot of people maybe don't give her enough credit for. because it meant that people had to keep tuning in to see, like, what did she say in Tennessee? What did she say in Chicago? What did she say in Las Vegas? Like, and so it gave, kind of like with Taylor's surprise songs, like people want to tune in each time because you don't know what she's going to sing. I feel like this gave Sabrina a moment of like, well, I want to see what she said when she was in, New York City or whatever. So
it had to be
very
so
smart.
hard.
Yeah, that's the other thing. She was literally coming up with a new lyric, like new lyrics for every single city, and had to remember them on the spot. It was very impressive.
It was very impressive. I like that. What was your 5?
I would agree. Okay, for my number 5 favorite moments, I said the Olympics. And
I had the Olympics and I dropped it off my list.
The thing about the Olympics is, I mean, it's not as if I watched all of the Olympics. I primarily watched gymnastics and watched Simone Biles, but I did tune in to other sports, and I don't know, it made me really happy. There just aren't that many times when I'm like rooting for America, because America a lot of times is a bit of a shit show.
Totally.
So
especially this year.
Yeah, especially this year. So it just felt nice to like rally behind America, to get excited, to tune in every night to like gymnastics or swimming or diving. I watched a lot of diving. And
fun.
Also, I don't know, did you watch any of the breakdancing?
Yes, I was gonna say, okay, so when I had Olympics on there, I put Simone Biles, Alona Mayer, and I put Ray Gunn, who is the who was the breakdancer who people just the breakdancing scandal was so good.
It was so good. And here's the thing. I honestly, I remember it because I watched it live. I had it saved in my phone. Like breakdancing comes on at like noon on whatever day. And so I was watching, I was standing in my living room watching it and watching these people who I was like, is this good? Like, I almost felt like I was being gaslit because I was like, maybe I don't know what breakdancing is supposed to look like, because this looks kind of crazy to me. And then to find out that everybody had the same thought, everybody was like, yo, what is this? What is this girl doing?
That was the first year I think they did breakdancing.
Yes, first
also
year.
The last. They said they're not doing They said they're never doing it again.
And what's so funny is I had listened to an episode of The Daily before it debuted, and one of the people who was talking about Olympics being breakdancing being on the Olympics was basically saying this was her fear. Her fear was that people were going to come on and basically make a mockery of what breakdancing is. And that's exactly what happened. So whoever that was who said that, you were right to be nervous about that.
I supposedly it was a scandal, and I don't know if this is true, but the rumor was that this woman, Ray Gunn, she started the breakdancing like group for the Olympics, and then was like her and her husband were the people like judging the people, and they just like chose her when there were better dancers. Making it even worse.
Even worse. The whole thing. What a mess. But I will say, the way they also like, because when I was watching live, they had MCs and then they had the judges like on this platform that looked like a DJ turntable, and the commentary that was happening in between breakdancers would just be like, oh, but it's in France, so they'd be like, mon Dieu. Oh, voila. And it just was, everything about it was hilarious to me.
Wait, I'm kind of mad they're getting rid of it because it's like entertaining.
It was extremely entertaining. But just in general, the Olympics was a good time. I think it was only like 2 weeks, but it felt like a long time. It felt like, a full month of us just like getting together, rallying behind America. And Simone was just unreal. Like watching her with that vault. Oh my God.
I love her. And then I love her sportsmanship. That's why I love Alona. I've always messed up her name. Alona Mayer. I love her too, because the sportsmanship, the pro woman sportsmanship. It's so fun to watch.
It's so fun to watch. Yeah, it was all about the women. I don't even know what men were.
Yeah, I don't know a single man. I saw someone say Simone Biles is in her Michael Phelps era, and I love that. I feel like she is. She's top notch, top of her game right now.
Totally. Yeah. So that was my number 5. All right, let's move on. What was your number 4 favorite moment?
Okay, my number 4 favorite moment from 2024 was the Four Seasons Orlando baby. Who's going to Four Seasons Orlando? Me. Do you know who that is?
No.
What? Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
well, you know what? Maybe, in the recesses of my mind, I'm sort of remembering this, but like remind me. This was like a TikTok thing?
Yeah, it was a TikTok thing for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so it was a little baby. I'm going to say probably 1 year old, if 1 year old, okay?
Okay.
And they say to the baby, who's ready to go to Four Seasons Orlando? And there's another kid there too that's like 3 or 4, right? Maybe I don't know their ages, but that's what I think they are. And the little baby like acts like a complete adult, and it's just like me. And for some reason, that baby went crazy viral. Four Seasons Orlando flew it out, put it in commercials. Like everybody was saying it for like months. I can't believe you missed this. I will be sending you that video.
I completely missed it. Now I'm going to go watch it. But that's cute.
It was so cute.
They got flown out by Four Seasons.
Yes,
that's
and
nice.
the sister, who was like the one that didn't respond, it was older. She even got to be in the commercials, so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah,
that's so cute. Okay,
that baby goes to nicer places than I do.
That is so nice. That's a feel-good moment. I like that as number 4.
What's your 4?
Okay, my number 4 is Tortured Poets Department.
Okay, I almost put that on there too.
The thing that I loved about it was that this is my first full calendar year as a Swiftie. So, and the fact that it's my first full year as a Swiftie and Taylor released an album and that album was a double album was just, it was so much for me. So much for me. I love that I got to have that moment as a new Swiftie, like see what it's like, the anticipation of her releasing an album and then like when it actually happens and then diving into all the lyrics and just like sitting with them and analyzing them. And I had so much fun. I made so many TikToks about so many of the videos, which I might be reposting now on Instagram if any of you are IG people. The whole thing, it felt like a great moment. And the thing about Tortured Poets Department in particular, which I've seen a lot of her fans say, is that it really did feel like an album for the fans more than anything else. And I like that because I got to participate. If I hadn't become a Swiftie by this point, I don't know that I would have been that into this album. It felt so intimate and the lyrics are, it is very much a book of poetry. I think it would be a hard album to like get into Taylor on. You know what I mean? It's like you weren't already into Taylor. I don't know that this album would have turned you on to her because it did feel like, just like very intimate, very introspective, very, just like not a lot in terms of like trying to draw people in. So I'm glad I was already, I'm glad I was already in the inner circle when it came out. It was just, it was a lovely moment.
I love that. I almost put that on there, but I didn't want to like have my whole list be about Taylor Swift, so I took it off. But I live streamed that album when it released, and there was like, I would say probably a couple hundred people in there. So fun. That was like the funnest. And I stayed up way past my bedtime. It's a good time. Oh my God.
That sounds like a good time. But you must have been up late because didn't it drop at midnight?
Yes. And then, so it dropped at midnight. We listened to the whole thing. It was great. And then immediately as we're ending that album, she drops the next album. And then everybody, I was like, listen, guys, we could get through a couple of these, but I can't. I had to give up on them. And they were like, we get it. You're old.
Yeah. You're old.
Yeah. I almost threw Cowboy Carter on there too. But again, my list was too long. I had to take things off.
Yeah. It was such a good moment. I did not stay up. I can't. I'm too old. But when I woke up, I was, of course, listening, but then also seeing people talk about a double album. And for whatever reason, my Apple Music hadn't quite updated. So I was like, what are y'all talking about 31 tracks? Like, I only see 16 tracks. What are these extra tracks? So it took me a minute to figure it out. And I just remember being blown away and then also being like, 31 when am I going to find time to listen to
right? And I was live and it wasn't refreshing and people were telling me in the live and I thought that I couldn't tell who was like being honest and who was trying to prank me. So I was like, what is going on? Give me a second. I
Yeah. What a cultural moment. But yeah, I loved that I got to participate as a part of the Swiftie community. And I love that I got to see Eras Tour this year, where after she had, debuted Tortured Poets Department, because I got a whole nother era, which I wouldn't have gotten had I gone last year. So yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. That's so fun. Are you ready for number 3?
I'm ready for number 3. Hit me.
Okay. My number 3 for 2024 was Hey Ma, came all this way, had to explain, direct from Domingo. The SNL Domingo skit.
That was, what a moment.
What a moment.
What a moment.
It was so funny. I'm still singing it.
It's funny because it's one of those skits that, like, and I often feel this way about like SNL skits that blow up. It's like, I don't really exactly know what it is about that one that made it so catchy and memorable. But yeah, it just immediately, I just feel like as soon as it happened the next day, everyone was on their Domingo.
Yes. And I feel like even the cast is always shocked which ones pick up. Like they're like, oh, you guys liked that one? And that poor guy, Marcelo, I think is his name. Yeah. He's going to have to like live with this for the rest of his life.
Forever. Yeah. Like when he goes and does stand-up shows now, he's always having to like reference it. People are stopping him, calling him Domingo.
I know. Yeah. And one of the greatest parts about that was Ariana Grande was in that skit and she had to pretend that she wasn't good at singing. Right. Which has got to be so hard.
Yeah. It was, I'm working late. Domingo. Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a really fun moment. Really fun moment. And what I also like about it for that actor, is he comedian Marcelo. How do you say it? What is his actual name? Marcelo Hernandez.
Right.
I love that for him because, he's been in the comedy game for like several years and he's been on SNL now for, I think, a couple of years. So this felt like a breakout moment for him, which I think he was very deserving of. Like he's clearly been grinding it out. So yeah.
And he is very funny. So that's perfect.
He is. He's hilarious.
What's
okay.
Yours? Hit me with yours.
My number 3 is Wicked. I loved Wicked so much. And we didn't get to talk about, we obviously did our episode on Cynthia and Ariana and then the movie poster drama that we went through.
Right. Yeah.
But we didn't actually revisit it after the movie came out. Now, have you seen the movie?
I didn't get to see it because we were going to see it over the break. And then my whole family got sick. And then my mom, I'm trying to watch it with my mom. My mom came down again for Christmas and we all got sick again. So I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, they're releasing it to like streaming tomorrow.
Oh, really? Tomorrow?
Literally New Year's Eve. So you can watch it at home.
I'll be watching it over the New Year's then.
Yeah.
Yay.
But I will say, so I won't say anything about it since you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I will say, I absolutely loved it. I saw it in theaters twice. I very much intend to rent it once it's out tomorrow. It just, everything about it, it was more than I expected. It like completely shattered my expectations. Cynthia Erivo, to me, goddess, absolute goddess. I don't even know how it's possible to take a role like that is so iconic and has been done so many times by so many phenomenal actors and singers and still make it your own. But she did. She pulled it off. And if she doesn't win Best Actress at the Oscars, I will be up in arms because she was phenomenal.
When is the Oscars?
When is the Oscars? I always feel like it's like February, March. Hold on. Yes, March 2nd. So I will be tuning in and I am expecting her to win. She was literally, and Ariana was amazing as well. I just felt like Cynthia to me was like otherworldly in how good her performance was.
Oh, I'm so excited to watch it. I'm so excited. Everyone was like crying after, and I need to know why. So
yeah, pretty good. And then also, I don't know if you've been watching all of the like behind the scenes clips because maybe have you?
I have a little bit.
Okay, yeah, just like seeing all that went into it, like almost none of it was CGI. They literally built every
I was about
set.
to say that. The sets are crazy.
The sets are crazy. The choreography is amazing. Just everything about it just seemed so well thought out. John M. Chu, the director, shout out to him. I feel like he had a vision.
Yeah.
And he brought that vision to life.
Yeah.
He absolutely executed. It was amazing.
Are we at number 2?
We're at number 2. So
Okay.
what's number 2 for you?
Number 2 of 2024 for me is, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? The coconut tree phenomenon. The whole Kamala campaign in general, amazing. It was like girlhood is the best way I could describe it. I feel like it really brought a lot of us together. And I just really loved that time period where we had so much hope, because I feel like we really just had so much hope. And
I know.
the coconut tree meme, I mean, I'll never stop talking about it.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love her little isms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny because Kamala was my number 2 as well.
Oh,
Look
no
at that!
Wait, that's so fun, because I was like,
Look
oh, we
at
don't
us.
have any overlap. We have the best overlap.
We have the best overlap. Yeah. Her campaign, it meant the world to me. I mean, as you see, I still have her framed photo behind me.
I love that you didn't take it down, by the way.
And I never will.
Good.
And I just, it that moment represented so much hope. And even though she didn't win, I feel like that hope, the hope that it gave us, I treasure it. You know what I mean?
I know. It was like a magical time. I can't explain it.
It really was.
It was, I had a lot of hope we were going to have a female president. I actually almost won. I almost wore my Kamala shirt today. But I was like, maybe I just go classy black, and I just, but I almost, because I didn't want to look sloppy. It was like,
Right.
it's because it's a t-shirt, but I wanted to wear it because I'm like, I almost made it my number 1.
Yeah.
I was so close. I was so close.
It was just such a phenomenal moment. And I love
was.
that. I don't know. Obviously she didn't win, but to see a Black woman on that level, like it filled my heart with hope. Just seeing how the country rallied around her, seeing how so many women rallied around her, and men too.
Men too, yeah.
It filled me with a lot of hope, and I hope I just hope that, like, this isn't the last time we see a woman and a woman of color running for president. I feel like it's certainly not going to happen next year, in the next 4 years. I feel like the Democratic Party is like, we're not trying this again.
They're in shambles right now.
I know, but hopefully someday. But it really did just.
I think we will see it again. I think we will see her again in some capacity, which I like. Also, the interaction with her and her sister, Big Sister General.
Yeah. Big Sister General.
I'll never forget Big Sister General. Yeah. Every time I see that video, I crack up. I love that we got to see how she interacts with her family and how she is with her loved ones.
Yeah.
I really just love that. It gave me hope for like our country, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just love that. So girlhood, Kamala, all the way.
All the way. We love you, Kamala. And we will never forget.
We will never forget. Okay.
Okay. What's your number 1? We made it.
All right. My number 1 is the Eras Tour, because I watched it on live, every single one. I did not get to go to the Eras Tour, but I watched every live. And very specifically when Travis Kelce was acting on stage. And also I want to throw in Cam Saunders. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. The lead dancer. Loved watching him. I just loved it so much. So that was my number 1. What was yours?
Number 1. Eras Tour. Well, I'll just say Eras Tour is an epic number 1. It was just such an epic tour, to be on tour for that long, to be doing surprise songs every single night, to bring out Travis, to have a whole added era with Tortured Poets Department, all of the surprises she brought out in London with like Florence. And it was a tour that felt like it kept growing in significance like as she went on. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
We got so connected to their dancers, which I feel like never happens with a concert. So I just love that.
Yeah. And I will say, for my Eras Tour experience, I loved going, and what I loved the most about it was like the camaraderie of the other audience members, which is just something I had never really experienced at a show before. And also, because I went by myself, I met people, we had a good time. Fun. It was just really nice. I feel like most Swifties are just really awesome, fun-loving people. And you know, the bad apples in the bunch, we don't think about them.
Yeah. It's like a giant friend club.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your number
I
one?
love that for number one, and number one for me, probably not surprisingly, is Beyonce Cowboy Carter.
Okay, I almost put that on there. I thought that was going to be yours.
So good. Such an epic moment. And the fact that we just watched her Christmas Day performance and it was
so good.
Flawless.
The horse.
Flawless. Every single moment. I've watched it now, who knows how many times, a dozen times. And that's how many times I've watched it start to finish. I also, in terms of how many clips I've watched on TikTok, I'm at like easily 100.
Yes.
It was perfection, and just like how well thought out it was, how well performed it was. Every angle I see, like she literally, this is what I love about Beyonce. No stone left unturned. She thinks about it all. The choreography, when people were marching off the field, they still were doing choreo. The people who were in charge of moving the sets and the lighting, I damn near feel like they were doing choreo, because it was all just so spectacular. And then of course she was phenomenal. Her vocals were unreal. And just to get to see Cowboy Carter brought to life, because it was album of my year for me, and I do think it should win album of the year at the Grammys. It just I felt like I loved it.
I saw your video on the performance, or one of them. I don't know if you made multiples. And you said you weren't sure if the beginning part was taped because she was on the horse. I actually don't think it was taped, because I actually did feel like I heard a little bit when she was
a little bit of the bump.
And I think it was actually live. Like, well, so not live, but I think that was like taped. But I think the vocals were singing. Yeah.
I think so too. Amazing. I think so too. I think they did pre-record that section. However, I agree with you. I think she was actually singing live when they recorded it, because it's Beyonce, and like, it's just because she can. She's just, I think so too. She's that well trained and that disciplined in her vocal training. But just the album as a whole, it was one of those albums that I always listen start to finish. Like, I very rarely would just like pick up at a random song. I was just like, well, if I'm going to listen, I got to listen to the whole thing. And I love when albums make you feel that way. Like, you need to hear it from start to finish. So it was, for sure, my favorite moment of 2024.
I love that. I love it was that our moments were music based too.
Yeah.
Just so good. Everything was so good.
So much good music this year. Like, the pop girlies took 2024.
The girls.
Yeah.
All of them were girls for me.
100%. Yeah. If a man released an album this year, I didn't hear it. Okay.
Same. Same. Now, are you ready to get into the mess?
Oh, girl. Let's get into this mess. It is so messy. I'm certain we have at least one overlap, because
I could have wrote like 10 of these. I was like, God dang, I got to put a 5.
I know. I kept switching things in and out. But let's get into it. What is your number 5 messiest moment?